With Avero's Velocity program, we focus on you. We focus on your aspirations, your strategy, your vision for your organization. So we've been talking about ERP systems, ERP consulting, the changing landscape of the ERP environment, software producers and vendors providing various different flavors of ERP systems out there. And we get this information from going to conferences, talking to clients, talking to our vendor friends. The landscape is changing rapidly. 5 years ago, when we would do consulting for our clients, the big names like Oracle, Workday, NetSuite, they didn't want to play in the smaller market. They didn't want to go to cities and counties that were smaller in size than the largest counties in the country or the state organizations or big cities. That has changed quite a bit. In talking with our vendor friends and in talking with prospects and clients, we're seeing that they're very interested in the mid-level market. They're interested in the mid-tier cities and mid-tier counties. They're interested in quasi-government agencies like housing authorities, transit agencies, utilities. And that's been quite a shift in the market because, again, 5 years ago, you would have the same players offering their solutions on any RFP that we helped any city or county put out. Lots of change happening in the market. The next significant thing we're seeing in the market, and because we have our ear to the ground as far as what's happening in the industry, what our clients need, what vendors are offering, Avero is the clearinghouse for all of this information. If you need more information on any of these topics, please reach out or go to our channel for a lot of great content that you can consume for free. So what are we hearing from the market? What are we hearing from vendors? What are we hearing from our prospects? The first thing is that ERP consulting, the whole process of taking you from strategy to putting an RFP on the street, is taking too long. Now we hear you. Sometimes it has to take long. If you haven't changed your ERP systems in the last 25 plus years, if you're using a homegrown green screen ERP system or you don't have one, you're on Excel, you're doing things on paper, we have to start from scratch. However, you may have educated yourself by going to conferences, you've done many demos, you've seen what is on offer by several vendors, and you may know which two vendors you might like. You may have a shortened timeline, you may have funding that may go away if you don't use it by a certain date. How do you get the whole process or the benefits of the whole looking under every rock and at the same time picking the right software for you in a short time? The second complaint or second concern that our prospects mostly bring to us is we want to get to an implementation quickly. We don't have time to do a detailed business process analysis, mapping of processes, a 10,000 line item requirements definition. We just want to start implementing. Can you get us to implementation? Now, we can, and I'm going to give you the consultant answer. It depends on what your needs are, what your requirements are, what your constraints are. Again, through our new offerings, we can alleviate some of those timeline pains without sacrificing any quality. The third concern is that we're often accused of reinventing the wheel. Our methodologies are tailor-made for our clients. At the same time, how tailor-made? Should something that worked for another county work for you? Should something that worked for another city work for you? And that's the point. We're talking about certain standards that software vendors are now sticking to, that they're offering, that are very baselines. Things like electronic purchase order routing, things like electronic accounts payables processing, things like time entry, things like vacation tracking, things that we would have to ask for specifically in a requirements definition that the vendors would then build for you 10, 15 years ago. That's a method of the past, right? We can now expect any vendor that takes themselves seriously, that is selling into the local government market or state government market or federal market, they have to have these processes. They have to have these functionalities built into their very baseline products. So do we really need to spend time on identifying, mapping out, drawing out these massive requirements lists to then have the vendors respond to them? Probably not. But if the client has some very specific, unique requirements, if they have specific, unique needs, we definitely need to spend time on that. The other aspect of that is, what are the vendors offering that is new and exciting? What are they doing with AI? What kind of flavors are they applying to AI, to their existing products? What's add-on? We need to know that as we put these RFPs out for our clients. So all of that is very important as we help our clients move from an older system or no system to a newer system. So what is Avero doing in the marketplace to take advantage of all of this information coming our way and to provide services to our clients? A lot of times vendors also come to us and say, hey, why do you make us respond to 5,000 5,000 or 10,000 lines of requirements to respond to a specific RFP. And it might seem to the vendor community that it is geared towards a certain vendor or certain system, but let me assure you it's not. Our methodologies and our services are purely designed to be in the client's best interests. If the client wants us to dig deep and look under every rock for their business processes to improve business processes and give them a blank slate sort of implementation, blank slate strategy for how do they replace 30-plus-year-old technology, that's what we're going to do. However, what we're seeing in the market is that products and softwares become a little bit homogenized. And as it becomes more standard, you can expect vendors to provide services like, accounts payable automation, cutting checks electronically, or having an automated process for approving purchase orders. Things like that would have been not taken for granted about 5 years ago are now the baseline for what products can offer. They're not the minimum standard for what a good modern ERP system should offer you. So is there still value in providing an RFP that includes 10,000 line items of requirements that we then make the vendors check off and say yes or no to? And we have to do that with a grain of salt, because if they say yes to a specific requirement, does it break something on tab number 7? Do these things matter? Do they combine with each other? A lot of thought has been put into these specific items at Avero, and we are getting ready to launch our new services, which are very exciting. They're tailor-made for this situation, and they're specifically designed to get our clients to the place they need to be to select the right product and take them to implementation in the shortest time, practical and possible, without sacrificing any quality. Avero is always at the forefront of innovation. To us, innovation doesn't mean coming up with a new piece of software or a killer app. Innovation is how we deliver services to our clients. We have 2 special offerings to speed up the process and make it more efficient for you to go from conceptualization strategy to RFP to select your new ERP system. The first program is Avero Velocity. Keeping up with the name means that this is a speedier process. This is a speedier way for you to get from conceptualization strategy to putting an RFP out on the street. So where's the rub? What are we cutting out of the whole process? Now think about the traditional way of producing an RFP that is just right for you. A consultant would come in and spend about 6 months studying your organization, studying your practices, your processes, your older systems, and take all of that intel and put it into an RFP that vendors can then respond to. With Velocity, you can shorten that timeline by not specifically going into detailed business process analysis or a giant list of requirements. Like we explained earlier, there are several things that are available on the market now that makes looking at different software very easy. They're almost about the same. The way that software producers and providers will differentiate themselves from now on is how well they do with customer service, how seamless it is to integrate their products with other products, how good they are with negotiations, and how well we think customer service is going to be during implementation and beyond. With Avero's Velocity program, we focus on you. We focus on your aspirations, your strategy, your vision for your organization, without getting into the deep weeds on each business process, each requirement. Based on a lot of work that we've done across the country over several years, we have a bank of knowledge that we can bring from day one to your project. We also focus on you and your specific requirements beyond the ones that are operational and functional in nature. What is the strategy you want to apply to go from an older system to a newer system? We can do that in a shorter time with our Velocity program. So how do we do this? I want to assure you, none of this means that you're getting a lower quality product or an outcome. But we do this by, 1, focusing on your specific needs. What is it that makes you want to go from point A to B quicker instead of spending 6 to 8 months on a discovery process and a more thorough RFP process? Once again, we're going to bring a lot of existing knowledge to you without making it feel like you have to adopt someone else's requirements, someone else's business process. We're also going to leverage our deep expertise in every vendor product that's out there. Now remember, we have worked with every vendor, every software provider, every solution that's out there from an independent third-party perspective since our inception. It's been our goal since our inception to be 100% independent and always in our client's corner. But we have specific relationships with software vendors, and it's in their best interest to come showcase to us what they're producing, what the newest things are in their software, and why they are the best fit for some of our clients. So we have this two-way engagement going with our vendor friends without getting into specific financial relationships with them. However, we have deep understanding of each product that's out there, and in Velocity, what we do is we bring that expertise, bring that intel to you from day one. Based on your requirements, you might be able to choose from 100 vendors. We'll narrow that down for you. We'll come to the table, understand your needs and requirements, and tell you which 3 or 4 might be best suited for you. And then, because you're a government entity, you still have to go to RFP. RFP. We will help you through the RFP process with a shorter RFP, more streamlined requirements, because we all agree, we have come to this understanding that we're not going to look at the whole universe of vendors out there. It's a public RFP process, so anyone that sees this is welcome to submit proposals to this RFP. But a lot of pre-work will have been done to get you to that point and to make sure that you're selecting the vendor that is exactly right for you in a short amount of time. In summary, Avero's Velocity approach is a no-frills, goal-oriented, quick-hit approach to take you from strategy to RFP. And if you choose along the way to get deeper into the weeds, to study more processes, to do more deeper analysis of your business processes, of course we can change approaches as we go along. But from the get-go, if you choose Velocity, you can be assured that you will get to an RFP and selection in a shorter time without sacrificing any quality. If you have any questions about our Velocity program or need further information, please reach out and don't forget to subscribe to our channels.